It was roughly September, October of 2019 when I uploaded the last video on this Cherokee. It is now May of 2021. I recorded some footage of other work that I did on this after that and just never got time to put it together and upload it. So I'm going to do that now, this video, and it may be another one or two with the rest of that thrown together. And once that's uploaded, there'll be a follow-up with where this Cherokee's at, what had been done that wasn't recorded, because I stopped recording when I did a lot of the work on it. So the next few videos will have this intro and then the footage, and that's all going to be from almost 2 years ago. That'll at least get this caught back up, because I think I've only ever done one other update on this on Comanche Club that's even close to where it's at now. And there's some other projects going on that I think I may do some videos on as well. So we'll get through this old footage and then I'll throw together some newer stuff on where it's at now. So whatever video has this intro is going to be old, almost 2 years old. Back working on the Cherokee today, right where I left off 2 days ago. Got a shipment of parts in today. New battery tray and crusty baller. It's actually in better shape than I think any of my other battery trays are. Oil filter, filter adapter, gaskets, and Amazon oil. Been hearing a lot of good things about it. It was cheaper than anything else I can get around here, and figured I might as well try it on the Cherokee and see what it does. Can't imagine it's much different than anything else. So at this point, I'm going to get everything pulled apart and throw the push rods in and get the rockers on and start tightening them down. So I was in a debate with myself trying to figure out if I wanted to use the rockers that came with the new head or use the ones from the old head. And I've already got those cleaned up, so I really could just throw these on there. I would have to clean these, but looking at them, they've got quite a bit of rust on them. You can see it down in there. Now, I'd like to use these. They've got, according to what the junkyard told me, about 70,000 miles less than these ones I had. But these are clean. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and use these. Look over them real good, make sure there's no weird wear patterns or anything, but I think it'd be a safer bet to use these, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, I went ahead and got myself just a paint cap here with some good clean oil in it. I'm just going to leave it sit on the head so if it spills, it goes down into the head. Basically going to take and lube up push rods here. Just want to get them wet. Pour a little bit on there. Make sure they're actually sitting down in the lifters. I've got these oriented in the direction they came out, so they're just going to go right back in where they came from. Same direction. If I can find the lifter. There it is. Now, the cam is going to be set in all different positions, or the rockers will be set in different positions because of the cam. Find the damn lifter. That's not it. So all the push rods are going to be different heights based on where the cam is at. If I can find the dang thing. Drift. Alright, so I figured out that the easiest way to do this is to lay your rocker in at or your push rod in at an angle, and you'll catch the lifter a lot easier. You stick it down in there and kind of fiddle around, but it's kind of difficult to find the lifter. So just going a little bit slight angle towards the passenger side, I'd say 10-15 degrees maybe, and it'll seat right down in there. And then just going to take a little oil, dump down over top, try to get it down into the hole as much as possible. Can't have too much pre-lubrication on this, so you hear that oil draining down in there. Alright, so now I'm going to do the rockers themselves. I want to get some oil on these to begin with, right where they meet the top of the valves and anywhere they touch. I'm just going to kind of pre-lube them here. Now they aren't going to stay on there very well. Because I don't have the bridge. I'm just going to set it right on top here. Set both of them here. Sitting on that push rod, it should keep them from sliding around too much. And then again here with the bridge, a lot of oil on here. Now, all I want to do is just get these bolts hand tight so the rockers don't go anywhere. Cannot torque these down unless the valves are closed, because it'll twist and bend things. So basically what I'm going to do, since I know right now cylinder 3 is all the way up, which means these valves are closed, so I can torque this one down. 4 is very close, so that'll probably be the next one that I do. Basically just going to turn the crankshaft until I see the rocker stop moving, and that'll get me close enough to valve closed to put the or torque the bolts down. So now I've got to be careful. You don't really want to get oil down into the bolt holes very much. What that can do is actually cause the bolt to get seized, because it'll create kind of a vacuum in there and kind of hydrolock the bolt in the hole there. So got to be kind of careful about that. A little bit isn't going to hurt. A lot would probably hurt. So Better safe than sorry. Just avoid it if at all possible. So obviously I'm dripping around in here, so it's not going to be completely perfect, but and over time the oil will leak kind of down into those holes, so it's not like they're going to be dry. So I am going to get these down until they're just snug. And as I move or turn the crankshaft to move the valves around, I'll keep tightening them down by hand as I can. What that's going to do is make it easier to tell when when the valves are actually closed. If I leave them loose, I'm never going to be able to tell when. So over the last couple minutes there, I was explaining kind of what I was doing, and really I kind of misspoke in saying that the valves won't tighten them until the valves are closed. Without rockers on there, all the valves are closed. What I meant to say was the push rods being up. So if the rockers were installed and the push rods were up, the valves would be open. So any push rods that are all the way up or part way up, you can't torque those down. You want to turn the crank so that the camshaft lobe turns and those push rods come down, which would mean your cylinder is at top dead center, is the easiest way to do it. If you do try to tighten those rockers down with the push rods all the way up, more than likely it's going to bend a push rod or strip the bolt hole for the rocker arm. So you just want to turn the engine over, make sure your rocker arms are all the way down before you tighten the rocker arm down to avoid bending anything. Like I said, right now cylinder 3 is at top dead center, so I'm going to start there torquing these down. Torque spec seems to be anywhere from 19 to 21 pounds, depending on where you look. I'm going to shoot for 20 right in the middle. So I'm torquing these. It's going to be best to just go back and forth to keep the bridge aligned. Okay, and there we go. Just inspect it, make sure everything looks like it's supposed to, and it does. So go ahead and turn the motor over here a little bit. The rockers are so close to even, it's going to be hard to tell just judging by those. So I'm going to do the old screwdriver in the cylinder trick. If this one's long enough, I don't know. It is actually easier to tell now that I'm moving it what's happening. Okay, feels like 4 is probably at bottom dead center now. Coming back up. Going back down. So basically, the trick is here to feel when the screwdriver just makes it to the top of the stroke. It just tops going up. And kind of levels off, which right there feels like if I go any further, yeah, it's not moving now. So those valves should be closed. I'm going to see here if I can even see them from in here. They look closed. To me, a lot of crap build up on them. It's a lot easier to see from this angle. So cylinder 4, I believe to be at top right now. So we'll go ahead and torque that one down. Okay, it's starting to grab now, so we'll go quarter turn at a time. Okay. Now, just going to go ahead and do that for the rest of the cylinders. Probably going to grab a longer screwdriver. It'll be easier with a longer screwdriver, but same process. You find where the cylinder is at the top. At that point, your valves are going to be closed, and you can tighten them down, torque them. So, all right. So I just finished torquing all the rocker arms down. Now I'm just going to run the spin the crankshaft with the ratchet a few times just to see what it feels like, make sure there's no weird noises, watch the rockers, make sure they look okay. All the bridges are the same height, they're all straight, all the rockers look straight, so I think we're okay, but always want to double check everything. So alright, seems like everything clears, so I think we're good there.